What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We have a brand new video today talking about Phase 3. Phase 3 is going to be releasing Blackwing Lair and the Darkmoon Faire. We have a lot of really good weapons and a lot of really good items in here that I want to talk about as far as loot priorities and things like that. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first boss in Blackwing Lair, Razorgore the Untamed. He's dropping the Untamed Blade. A really underrated weapon in my opinion. This weapon kind of, people think it's cool, nice, oh cool 300 strength proc, but people don't realize how good that really is. 300 strength actually brings this weapon to the highest DPS weapon in the game when that proc is up. So in reality, if you think about that, it's doing more than the Might of Menethil, the best two-handed mace in the game. The thing is, it's based on procs, right? So if it's a 1 proc per minute, it's going to be decent. If it's 2, it's going to be very good. So we'll see what that is when it comes out, but I wanted to talk about the proc. So a lot of people don't realize that the talent Divine Strength for Ret Paladins, 10% increased strength, actually affects these procs. So procs like Crusader that gives you 100 strength, it's actually giving you 110. In this case, the Untamed Blade is giving you 300, so it's going to be 330 extra strength. It's nuts. So if you throw Crusader on this bad boy, you get a proc for 440 extra strength. That's a lot of attack power. That's a lot of damage you're going to be doing, especially with Vengeance up. You're going to have some crazy burst potential. I know a lot of guilds probably give this item to warriors for PvP. Again, I think obviously two-handers should be prioritized towards DPS Rets for PvE. Unless they got a really nice item like, you know, Bone Reaver's Edge or something like that from Molten Core. But this is going to be a really good weapon to get you caught up. I'm currently rocking the Unstoppable Force, which is a decent two-handed mace, but this two-handed sword is definitely something I'm going to be looking at to get. Yeah, so moving forward on to Velistraz. Velistraz has some nice items. He going to be dropping the tier 2 waist, as well as the Helm of Endless Rage. The Helm of Endless Rage is a pretty good item. In my opinion, this should be kind of aimed towards... see, the thing is, as a Ret, you want that crit, you want that hit. So obviously, things like the Lionheart Helm is probably going to be better for just straight up DPS. However, if you don't have one of those, you could also get your hands on one of these. It would be a really nice option as well. But this is an amazing PvP, like AP Ret for PvP set or warriors in general. It's also pretty dang good for Fury tank. So if your guild's got a Fury tank, definitely get that on them. So going to be a really good item for them. So moving on to the next boss, Broodlord Lashlayer. Got some nice items, nothing really too crazy that Rets are going to be looking for. Again, the Judgment boots jumped off this guy. Everything else is for other classes, nothing too crazy that you're going to be looking for there. Moving down to Fire Maw, he's going to be dropping the Drake Talon Cleaver. This weapon is pretty solid for Red as well. The only downside about this is it is an axe, so you're not getting that mace or sword skill if you're a human. The nice thing with this one is the Fatal Wound proc for 240 damage. That can crit. That if it crits, that's going to give you Vengeance proc. So another really nice bonus there. However, I think this item should maybe just be passed down to your, you know, arms warriors or anything like that, or warriors just for PvP. Could be a you know, off spec sort of thing. So yeah, it's an interesting item. It's pretty solid. You know, nothing to frown down upon, but pretty solid indeed. Next item, this one's just straight up, it reads Paladin all over it. Leg guards of the Fallen Crusader. Got 28 strength, 22 agility, 22 stam, 17 intellect. So super solid. You know, it's got all the stats you're looking for. Really good for PvP in general. If you don't have anything like the Devil Sword or something like that, I think just this raw strength and agility all kind of are going to be really good for this item. Yeah, and then moving down to, let's see, we have the Drake Talon Paladins. These are actually very strong. They 20 strength, 20 agility, 17 stam, 1% dodge. So here's the thing with this item. I think this should definitely go towards your Fury tanks first. Fury tanks, it's got some avoidance for you. It's got that strength. It's got that agility. You know, it doesn't have any hit or anything like that on it, but just the raw stats are really strong. So I think once, you know, maybe your Fury tank has that, then you can start moving it down. Pass it out to your Rets, to your Warriors, and, you know, for PvP in general, it's just a really good set to have. That combined with, like, the Helm of Endless Rage is super strong. This boss also drops the Judgment gloves, but we'll talk about Judgment in a minute here. Another interesting item that drops off this guy is the Scrolls of Binding Light. This is interesting. It's kind of a unique item. Its use is increase your attack speed by 25% and also increase your spell cast by 33% for 20 seconds. This could be used for maybe more of a spelled in build if you're going to aim for more of a spelled in build. Some nice attack speed. As a Ret, attack speed is it's okay. It's interesting. You know, it might be used for a nice burst situation, but in general, honestly, I think you might want to stick to your typical other trinkets. This might be better for a Holy Paladin. That 33% increased casting speed. You pop you pop this and just start blasting out some flashes of lights like insanely quick. So it's pretty nice for them. So yeah, I think, you know, maybe spelled in priority, healer, and then if anyone else wants it. Honestly, that's just kind of how I feel about that item. It's just really not that great. Some of these trinkets for classes from Blackwing Layer are interesting, to say the least. They're not necessarily like, oh my god, they're the best in the world, but it's just kind of how it is. Yeah, so let's talk about also Firemaw drops the Cloak of Firemaw. Really good cloak. Got 50 attack power, so huge attack power in 12 stam. So this is going to be a really nice cloak to aim for. Really good stats on there, just all around good. You know, obviously your warriors are going to be wanting that as well. Just super strong, super strong. And then let's move down to Ebon Rock. Ebon Rock also drops some of the similar items, so Drake Talon Pauldrons as well. Drake Talon Cleaver as well. Let's see. Yep. He also drops the Drake Fang Talisman, or also known as the Drama Builder for guilds. This item is insane. 56 attack power, 2% hit, and 1% dodge. That attack power and that hit is ridiculous on a trinket. So everyone's going to be wanting this. Everyone's going to be wanting this. Some people say that it should go to you know, your Fury tanks, but honestly, everyone wants it, right? Everyone's going to want it, so it's just kind of what it is. It's up to your guild. If your guild wants to loot prioritize that towards someone else, okay, sure. You know, that's their guild. You do what they say, right? So, yeah, very interesting item. It's amazing, honestly. I'm hoping to get my hands on one, but, you know, we'll never know. We'll never truly know. Yeah, so pretty much everything else is the same for this boss. Similar items, I don't think. Yeah, there's also the Malfurion's Blessed Bulwark. It's a leather chest piece with 40 strength, 22 stam. If you don't have a decent chest, you could possibly go for this. However, definitely give this to your ferals, please. Give it to your feral druids. They're you know, don't have much they can get anyway, so this is a nice item for them. Moving on to Flame and Gore, also similar items. All these guys drop you know, pretty much the same sets of items, but then a couple different ones. So something to look at. Herald of Woe. This is a two-handed mace. It's got strength, stam, int, and spirit. I think this is okay weapon. I definitely think you should just give it to your feral druids if they want it. Feral druids definitely would like this. It's just a stat stick, right? It's got good DPS on it. However, like you want something with a nice proc, something with some, you know, some good, you know, slower attack speed for you. The Herald of Woe is like decent, but you know, maybe if no one else wants it and you don't have anything better, then yeah, sure, you could go ahead and grab it. You know, if you don't have any ferals that are trying to look for it. And then let's talk about the Circle of Applied Force. Amazing, amazing ring. So it's got 12 strength, 22 agility, and 9 stam. So super strong. Tons of agility on there. I think this should maybe be prioritized towards your rogues, your warriors, Rets. I mean, honestly, really good just melee DPS in general. But I personally think it should go towards rogues first, then move their way down the line towards other classes. Just because of that huge agility boost right there for you. And then let's go towards Magus. Magus has some cool items here. He's got you know, some nice one-handers, some nice shields, all that kind of fun stuff. Some really good, you know, rogue shoulders or Eldritch shoulders. But then the big thing that we're looking at here is the Girdle of the Fallen Crusader, another perfect red item. Got it's just huge stats all across the board. Really, really good waste for you. And then one big item that I know a lot of people are going to want, all the warriors, all the tanks, all the reds are going to be wanting it, are the chromatic boots. That's 20 strength, 20 agility, 19 stam, and 1% hit. So these are huge, 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 huge. Amazing, amazing boots. So yeah, everyone's going to want them. That's pretty much it. Everyone's going to be rolling for them. Everyone's going to want those. They're super strong. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of up to your guild once again where they want to put these first, but most melee DPS are going to be aiming for them. And then finally, let's talk about Nefarian. Nefarian, the last boss from Blackwing Lair. He drops the legendary Ashkandi Brotherhood, the Great Sword of the Brotherhood, right? Yep, Great Sword of the Brotherhood. Huge, huge, huge sword, literally and stat-wise amazing. So 81.9 DPS, 3.5 attack speed. It's massive. This is an amazing weapon. So this is definitely something you want to keep your eye on. You want to try to get your hands on one of these bad boys. So, you know, hopefully, you know, I hope I don't see too many hunters out there with it, but it is really good for them as well. It's just huge attack power, 33 stam. I think this should be totally prioritized towards Rets, and then warriors for PvP. Some guilds I know they've prioritized this weapon towards their PvP warriors, but however, you know, that's up to your guild, right? You can't do anything about it. So, but definitely Ashkandi, amazing sword. So you're gonna want to try to get your hands on one of those bad boys. Tier set. We're gonna pop over to tier 2. All right, guys. So tier 2, guys. So the Judgement Set, the beautiful, amazing set that everyone wants, everyone loves. All the paladins out there are begging for it. So where do these items go, right? They're interesting. It's strength, stam, int, spirit, frost resist, shadow resist, and then spell damage. That's the big one, spell damage. A lot of people I've noticed are instantly going, oh, hey, Judgment, it's healer. In reality, it's not. It is and it's not. In my opinion, you definitely want this set for PvP. Both healers and both DPS want it. It's just kind of how it is. If you're looking at just PvE, if you're focused purely on PvE and what you want with this, honestly, there's pre-raid items that have more healing than the Judgement Set. That's just how it is, unfortunately. But that being said, some items could possibly be an upgrade or be close to an upgrade. So that's just kind of what it is. In my opinion, I think that Rets that are PvPing or ranking definitely should be allowed to aim for this gear. It's got huge amounts of stam, huge amounts of int and strength, and then tons of spell damage. And spell damage is a really nice stat. Actually scales pretty well with Rets. However, I know your Holy Paladins, if you have Holy Paladins out there PvPing as well, it might be something for them too. It has a decent amount of healing, although it is damage and healing. It's okay, right? I mean, it's just what it is. Both healers and your DPS are going to want it, and your tanks. Honestly, this is a really, really good set for prop paladins. It's got tons of spell damage. It's got all the stats you'd really want. It just doesn't have defense, right? That's the thing. So, and with the new meta of spamming Blessing of Kings, you might not even want this set. To be honest, you might just want pure defense because you're not going to need the spell damage for the threat. So it's kind of up in the air, honestly. In my opinion, I think that Rets should get this first. I mean, I try to be unbiased. I know I play a Ret and I want the set, but I also try to think about all the other sides of things. So it is kind of difficult because I know other classes want this and I know all that too. But again, it's up to your guild, right? So you got to see what they say, see what they want to do. In my opinion, it should go towards the Ret Paladins, then go towards Holy Paladins, and then fill in the blank from there, right? But again, those being said, it's definitely PvP oriented, right? definitely PvP oriented. It's not all about, you know, just PvE, because this set necessarily isn't very good for just straight up PvE. It's just not, to be honest with you. If you're going AP Ret, it's not good for that. It's more of a Paladin set, if anything. If you're going to go Paladin, definitely some of these pieces are going to be very solid for you. Just covering some of the basics for the set bonuses. It increases your aura radius by 10. That's solid. It just hits, you know, aura on people that are a little bit farther away. Not too shabby. 5 sets really awesome. 47 increased spell damage, really, really good. And then the 8 set's really interesting. So it inflicts 60 to 66 additional holy damage when you judge. This is why this could be pretty solid for a Paladin. This whole set in general has a ton of spell damage on it. Again, with some strength and intellect. And then, you know, that combined, that little proc on the judgment can actually crit, which will trigger vengeance. So really good for Paladin. So I think if you do have a Paladin in your raid, go for the judgment set. So actually, yeah, so I should reframe. I said Rets earlier. I should reframe it this way: Paladins, then AP Ret, then healers, then tank, like then a prop, you know, prop paladin or whatever, and then but in general, after it goes to if it goes to your AP Ret, or your spell damage Ret, your Paladin, after it goes to your Paladin, it should definitely go towards PvP. It's going to be PvP after that. So definitely talk to your guild if you plan on trying to go Paladin. You know, you should talk about that, because this is a very, very good set for that. Other than that, you know, PvP all the way. That's pretty much what it is. So yeah, I think that's enough said about the Judgement Set. I know it's going to be a big controversy. Everyone, you know, your healers are going to want it, and like everyone else is going to want it, but it's just kind of how it is. The unfortunate thing is none of the Judgement Set has hit, so that's why it kind of makes it rough for PvE, but it's got plenty of spell damage. So if you're looking for being a Paladin or for PvP, shock it in kind of build, it's super good for that kind of stuff. So that's why I say it should go to either your Paladins and then go to your you know, your PvPers next, because that's just kind of how it's built. Unfortunately, we don't have that great of you know, PvE DPS sets until we get into tier 2.5. Then we get some really nice stuff. But yeah, so that's just it for the Blackwing Lair Phase 3. Hope you guys get your attunements done. Hopefully your servers aren't too crazy. Mine had that mob camped for days. Tons of people were there. I haven't even got it yet. It's just was too much. I'm just like, and plus I'm trying to rank. Currently rank 6, trying to hit 7 soon. So want to get that that rank 10 set, which would be pretty awesome. But yeah, so Darkmoon Faire. The big thing with this one are these necklaces here. So if you haven't gotten your hands on like the Onyxia necklace, there's a really nice one in here for you. 10 strength, 19 agility, 10 stam, super strong. I personally am going to be grabbing the Orb of the Darkmoon, because I'm trying to have a bit of a Paladin set as well. Since I already have the Onyxia neck, I'm going to aim for the Orb of the Darkmoon. That's 11 stam, 8 spirit, and 22 spell damage. So solid neck right there for you. These, I believe, cost 1,200 tickets. The tickets can be bought with a variety of different things. I'll show them up on the screen here for you guys. And then, let's see, moving on to the decks. The decks are the big one that I really like. In my opinion, the Elementals deck, the Darkmoon card Maelstrom, is one of your BIS items as a Ret Paladin for your trinkets. It's a chance on hit on your melee strikes to trigger a lightning effect, which does 200 to 300 nature damage. And again, I pound this into everyone's head. The best thing about Rets are procs. You want procs on procs on procs. So these things, if it crits, it does some huge damage, and it gives your vengeance more uptime. It's all about vengeance uptime. That's the biggest thing. It's what makes Ret be able to work, right? So definitely a huge card to get. So if you can get your hands on one of these bad boys, I definitely would. I'm definitely going to get my hands on one. So yeah, that's basically it for the gear, guys. I wanted to talk about Ret super quick. Yeah, hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hearing my rambling about Phase 3. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them below. I do my best to answer everything, talk about it. If you have opinions, if you think something should go somewhere else, totally hit me up. Let me know about that. What you think? I'm always up for critiques. So hope you guys have a good one, and good luck getting loot.